Hello and welcome to today's online seminar. How are you guys? Guys, can you hear me? Venkat is rocking. Hello Darshan, Nikhil, Saurabh, Bhagishri, Samrat, Vinuta, Harshad, Noman, Vignesh, Kinnar, Tarun, Pramod, Ankit, Sandeep, Sagar. We got so many students here with us today. Guys, how was your weekend? Hello Piyush. Hi Sri Harsha. Hello Sauvik. Sauvik says awesome. Chandrasekhar says good weekend. Venkat had a boring weekend. So okay, Venkat, today we'll make it interesting. Abhishek says rainy. Okay. So guys, let me introduce myself to you. I am Mani Kumar. I will be our organizer for today's seminar. I will be organizing today's seminar GRE How to Choose Universities for MS and PhD. Okay? Guys, this will be an activity-based seminar as you can see on the screen. We'll have activities simultaneously going on here as well as on our Facebook page. Okay? We'll be conducting activities simultaneously on the GoToWebinar software as well as on the Facebook page. Okay? And guys, there are exciting prizes to take away from each activity. As I said, there are a couple of activities. There are exciting prizes to take away from each activity. I'll announce that. I'll discuss that in detail later. Right? You can keep an eye on those activities. You can win exciting prizes. Okay. So guys, let me ask you this. How many of you do not have a Facebook account? How many of you do not have a Facebook account?
Volume is very low.
Mayuresh says joke. Titus says LOL. Okay. I'm sure, guys, I'm sure almost all of you got one. I'm sure almost all of you got a Facebook account. Am I right? Okay. Guys, I doubt that you don't have a Facebook account. But even if you don't have, it's okay. You can attend the. If you don't have, it's okay. Okay. But if you have a Facebook account, you can log into the Facebook account. I'll send you a link of GIS Facebook page. You can click on the link, log on to our Facebook page, open a new tab on the browser and keep it open. As I've said, there will be activities going on simultaneously. So keep an eye on our Facebook page. So guys, where are you attending the seminar from? Hostel, home, or are you traveling? Where are you attending the seminar from? Home, from hostel. Saurabh is attending from hostel. Coimbatore. IIT Roorkee. Home sweet home. Hostel. Room. Office. Different places. Many of our students even attend while traveling. Isn't that great, guys? Guys, if you are in the hostel, you can invite your friends for the online seminar. It will definitely be useful for you and your friends. And if you are at home, you can even call your parents to attend the seminar. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Okay. So guys,
audio problems.
So guys, I sent you a link. You can click on that link. Log on to our Facebook page. You'll see a post that says, "I'm attending. Join me." Right? You can log on to the Facebook page. you'll see the latest post on the Facebook page, GREH Facebook page, that says I am attending, join me. What you can do is you can share that post with your friends. You can like or comment on the post, or you can even tag your friends so that they know that you are attending the seminar. Guys, since this GoToWebinar software doesn't allow us to share the meeting with our friends, we'd like you to comment or like on the Facebook post. Okay. Okay, guys. The latest post on the Facebook page that says I am attending, join me. Okay, guys. So without much ado, we'll start the seminar. Guys, we have a very important and a very special guest here with us today. Speak a little about him. He has done his BTech from IIT Madras, MSc Engineering degree from IISc Bangalore, and a PhD from Purdue University, Indiana, USA. Alright, he is none other than our managing director of greh.com. Guys, he wanted to personally address all of you and give you crucial insights on university selection and admission. We are happy to have him today, in spite of his busy schedule. Welcome him to today's online seminar. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Mani.
Good evening, sir.
And hello, students. How are you all? Are you able to hear me? Yes, there is no video. There is just voice and slides. Okay. Good. So you're able to hear me. Now we'll get started. Darshana, that's right. You are muted. All students are muted. Otherwise, we would just not be able to manage. But if you win the millisecond moment, I think you get to speak. Okay. So this is the flow of the webinar. First, we'll have a series of polls which will help us know your current preparation level, and we'll also share the poll results after a brief while. Then we'll have a little contest called Millisecond Moment, and while that's going on, you'll get time to think and answer it. While that's going on, I'll talk to you for about 15-20 minutes on a survey of universities, and then we'll announce the winner of the millisecond moment, and that person also gets to speak if you have a good question and you have audio ability on your side, the microphone on your side. Then we'll move on to the second part, which is again continuing the survey, but a little bit more detailed, more analytical way of thinking. And then we will announce the contest for the GREH Academy Award. And while you guys are working on that and also listening to me, we'll go to the main topic, which is how to choose a university. And then we'll announce the GREH Academy Award winner. That should be about exactly an hour from now. And after that, those of you who have better things to do can move on. And those of you who have some questions can stay back and ask questions. I'll answer them. I can't promise you that I know all the answers to all your questions. Okay, but we'll try our best. Our team will also make sure that all your questions are compiled and answered in detail and posted on our website. Is that fine, guys? For an agenda? Okay. Nupura, it takes about 10 days for the prize to get shipped. Okay. Right. So let's move on to the polls. Okay. The first poll. Now you know that. See, now these during every poll I'll talk a little bit, because these polls are meant to um, also educate you a bit. Now this is a question not about universities but about yourself. Would you rather to would you rather go to apply only to top schools or safe schools? If you apply only to top schools, there's a risk of not getting an admit, even if you have a very good profile. Even if you're a topper from an IIT, you may not get. The other choice I'm giving you is safe school. They may not be as prestigious as an MIT or Stanford, but the quality of education would still be good, because, and then the chances of getting there is high. So the top 150 universities in the US have that quality. So I'm forcing you to make a choice, nothing in between. So would you rather go for a top school or a safe school? Almost 25% says top school, almost 76% says safe school. Okay, that I'm very surprised by that 25% of you would risk the chance of not getting an admit at all. Okay, but then that's you. So you should try to be who you are. Okay, now let us move to the next thing. So in anytime anybody is applying, this is a very, very important choice that one has to make. Of course, you also have you have to balance out between these two tendencies that is there among everybody. Okay, now we'll go on to the next poll. Okay, so right now you might be having a portfolio of schools in your mind. You can answer this question. What is there in your mind right now? Only highly prestigious schools, equal mix of top 10 and 11 to 30 schools, one or two of the top 10 schools, and then a good mix of the 11 to 50 and 50 to 150. No top 10 schools, but mostly 11 to 50 and 1 to 2 unranked, and you'll apply only if you're sure to get. Unranked is fine. Where are you leaning? Okay, so only about 70% of you have voted so far. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, Sayak is asking, what was my stream? My stream in BTech, Masters as well as PhD was electronics and communications. I worked on modem design and base station design. All cellular communications and wireless technologies. Digital signal processing. Harsha, I did my PhD at Purdue. Nikhil wants to know, how was your profile? I think it was okay. Yeah, there are a lot of questions about me, but you have to remember that I might be about 20 years older than all of you. So what happened 20 years ago may not exactly matter now. Things are drastically different. Okay. Sayak is also from IIT Madras. Okay, a lot of questions. All these questions will be answered. Okay, so now the poll is over. Guess what? 10% will says that they will apply only to the top 10 universities. About 80% have opted 40-40 each, have opted for the next two choices, balanced mix. 10% says no top schools, and 3% says unranked is fine, only if I'm sure to get. Okay, that gives us, this is again, it's not just a poll question, it's a choice that you have to make anyway. I'm just alerting you to the choice, and different people make different choices. It's perfectly fine, but you have to be comfortable with the choice and its consequences. That's what I want to open your mind to. Okay, all right. So next we'll move on to the next poll, which is, how many universities do you plan to apply to? Okay, there is also an indicative cost, because the more universities you apply to, the more you have to spend. So 4 universities should cost you about 25,000 rupees, including all the mailing and couriering and everything, and score reporting and everything. And 6 to 8, 9 to 12, 20. 20 means like taking no chances, carpet bombing America with your applications. Okay, so 4, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, or 20. Lot of questions, guys. Keep typing. All of them will be answered. There are questions about scholarships, professors, which universities, and so on. Okay, so about 90% of you have voted now, and I think we can close the poll. 50% of you have said that you'll apply from between 6 to 8 universities, and 40% of you have said that you'll apply to 4 universities, and 10% of you have said that you'll apply to 9 or more universities. Okay, so now the next question that we'd like to ask you and share is, what's the type of funding you have in mind? Own funds or family funds? Expecting to take a loan? Expecting a job or a university or a fellow? What is your most realistic thing? Or expecting a fellowship or scholarship? Okay, so again, a lot of questions. 35% wants a fellowship or scholarship, and 35% will take a loan, and 25% thinks they'll go for a university assistantship, and only 7% has said that they will use their own or family funds. Do you know which one is the best option of these 4, in my view? Yes, many of you are saying it right. The best option is to take a loan, or, and of course, if you get a fellowship, you don't have to do that, because a loan leaves you with the highest level of freedom to pursue what you want to study, and also to plan your education the way you want. When you take a loan, you have 100% of your time with yourself, whereas if you take up a job, assistantship or something, then 50% of your time goes off into that. So your degree tends to take longer, and you are also usually constrained to take different types of courses based on this time commitment already made. Okay. And in any case, a majority of the students, 80% of the students, do go with a loan. They do not use own funds, or they do not get assistantships right up front. And fellowships or scholarships are available only to the top 1-2%. Okay. All right. So 90% of you have finished voting, so we can close this poll as well. We'll go to the next poll. Vignesh is asking, what if you're not eligible for a loan? Since you have some time, why are you not eligible for a loan, Vignesh? Okay, so the next question, which stage are you in right now? Where are you right now? Just thinking about MS in US, exploring and learning, or you're preparing for GRE with no dates booked, or you're preparing for GRE, you've booked a date, you're practicing and improving and trying to get a better score, or you're really close to or you've completed your GRE and you're shortlisting your universities. Okay, so nearly 60% of you are preparing for GRE in some form or the other, and 25% of you are just thinking about MS, and 15% of you have finished your degree, finished your GRE and your shortlisting and preparing for universities. Okay, now we'll move on to the next poll. What is your view on getting help for GRE and admissions? Some people choose to take help, some people choose not to take help for GRE and for admissions independently. So I just wanted to understand how you guys stand on this topic. Okay. Darshan says, Darshan, I'm not able to understand your comment. According to my R&D, northern universities have more than southern ones. What does that mean? Okay, so Varadarajan Srinivasan is asking about GRE in the US alone. This talk will be focused on US, but I am happy to tell you that we'll also be organizing a more detailed talk on Germany. I'm much more aware of US, and partly because I studied in the US and lived there for a long time, and also because many of our students, the vast majority of the last 10,000, 13,000 students that we have had are also US focused. So we have spent a lot more time thinking about US on their behalf. Okay, so my expertise really is in the US. Pradeep Borate is asking whether job strategic location matters, especially for mechanical engineering. To a large extent, yes. I'll talk about that. The geographical location of your university has a big impact, as are the industrial connections of your university. Okay, so again, 90% of you have voted. 50% of you believe that training, you'll opt for help for both, and 1/3 of you want to do GRE without help, but you want help for the counseling service, and about 10% of you want help for GRE alone, and about 10% are complete free birds. You don't want any help. Okay, fantastic. So we'll move on to the next poll, which again, especially for those in early stage, you need to think about these things. Again, I want to understand what fields you're all in. So I've just put some fields here. If it's any other field, just type it. Computer science, electronics, material science, communications is the next one. Mechanical sciences and biological sciences, and other things. Yeah, graphics would fall in computer science. Statistics would fall in the last bullet. VLSI falls under electrical engineering. Azhar says business. Unfortunately, this allows only 5 choices. So I didn't put it, but we'll keep business is also in a big area which many students want to pursue. Which is better, electrical or electronics? Someone asks, and the difference between electrical and electronics gradually goes away. Computer networks is also falls under computer science. Okay, so again about 90% of you have voted, and many of you have also typed. Okay, in fact, the screen here is scrolling so fast that I'm not able to read even one sentence. Okay, all right. So we'll go on to the last of our polls, which MS or PhD, what degree? Okay, so 40% of you say MS only, 40% of you say MS for now, but PhD maybe later. 13% is definitely PhD, 1% is MBA, and 4% is not decided or confused. So 4% of you are not decided or confused. That's about 12 to 13 people. So can all of you just type here saying I'm confused? The people who are confused, you are the ones whom I really want to talk to. All right. Okay. So I saw your names, and you can also type why you're confused. Okay. All right. So we'll close the polls now and move on to the next phase, which is the millisecond moment contest. Okay. Over to money.
All right, guys. Guys, how many of you know what is the millisecond moment? How many of you are aware of the millisecond moment? No idea. I'm not aware. Okay. So, okay, guys, I'll explain what is the millisecond moment. Guys, as I promised at the beginning of the seminar that we'll have a few activities going on simultaneously. So this is the first of the awards, the millisecond moment. So are you ready for it, guys? Are you ready for it, guys? Okay, guys, all you have to do click on the link, log on to our page, answer the latest post on the page. I've sent you a link.
There's echo.
I've sent you a link. Click on the link, log on to our Facebook page, and answer the latest post on the Facebook page. Guys, do you know that GRE is a time-based test? Do you know that GRE is a time-based test? Yes. So let's see who's the fastest in here. Who's the fastest in here? Right?
Mani's voice is not clear.
Okay, guys, I've posted the question. You can log on to our Facebook page. The first person to answer the question correctly will win the millisecond moment. Alright, I've posted the question on the Facebook page. I've already sent you a link. I'll read out the question for you once. Pratyusha, a student will be applying for 6 university for spring 2014 admissions. In 3 of these, the probability of getting an admit is 0.1 or 10%. In the remaining 3, her probability of getting an admit is 0.5 or 0.5 or 50%. What is the probability that Pratyusha gets an admit from at least one university for spring 2014? Meanwhile, Raviteja applies for the same season to 8 universities where he has 0.1 or 10% chance. What is the probability that Raviteja gets an admit from at least one university for spring 2014? Both the answers have to be correct in the first attempt to win the millisecond moment prize. Alright? The question is in front of you guys. You can take a notepad and solve the question. The winner will be announced in a short while during the webinar. Alright? Meanwhile, back to Mr. Anand Karan. He'll be addressing you. He'll be discussing a few topics with you. Alright.
Okay, hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. So please post your answers directly on the Facebook page because we are also measuring your time. Okay, Srinath, are you able to hear me now? Okay. All right. Thank you. So we'll Prashant, you must post your answer on the Facebook page. Okay. So the next phase is a survey broadly covering the history, geography, and the economics of universities, particularly in the US. But I'll also talk a little bit about universities in Canada and Germany. Now, this is a very high-level talk, so you can't expect to gain everything from one talk. It'll of course take a lot of research and your own diligent pursuit of more information before you apply. So I'm just going to give you some pointers on how to get started and how to think about it. Okay. Okay. So the professor or the dean of who is now a dean of a famous university once told me that a good university is like wine. Just like wine, the older a university, the better it is. The more aged it is, the better it is, and the more expensive it is, the better, and the more exclusive, the better. And ambience adds to the quality of the university as it does to the quality of this drink, and it does have a long-term effect. And like wine, university is discussed often, and once the party is over, you got to get back to work. Okay, in both cases, once you finish your degree, you got to start working, and once the party is over, once you're finished with your drink, you got to go get back to normal business. And how old, asks Anuradha. So now, Aditya, can you hear me now? Okay. So if you look at the really top schools, they're all over 100 years old. Okay, you can think of if you look at the Indian situation, the University of Madras, Calcutta University, and Bombay University are the oldest, and they're about 150 to 160 years old. Whereas in the US there are quite a few dozen universities are already in more than 150 years old. Okay, so many of you are not able to hear. I don't know why, but are you able to hear? Okay. Yeah, Sangam, whatever you're writing, scrolling past very, very fast. Okay, Santosh, Irvine is relatively new, but it's supposed to be much better than older universities. That's true. In some cases, that's also true. For example, of UT Dallas, like UC Irvine. This is because of government funding and superior location. Like if, universities that are located in an industrial hub or manage to attract some really good professors or Nobel Prize winners early on, they tend to be a much better, in spite of their age. Okay, regarding UT Dallas, Venkatesh Komanna. Okay, my wife studied there, so I cannot say anything but good things about UT Dallas. Right? Otherwise, I can't get back home alive. Okay. Okay, a lot of questions about UCSB, UT Austin, CMU, Lawrence Tech, lot of questions. Okay, now instead of answering specifically about any one question, I will talk to you about first a general framework. Okay, in general, you have to look at older and more mature universities as being better, as are universities that have unique geographical advantages of location. Okay, so we'll move on to the next slide. I need to see this. Okay. Now, so universities, apart from age, they depend on a lot of things. One is the funding level. Most universities have the obligation to publish the amount of funding that they are raising. So it is possible for you to go to their website and understand how much funding they are getting. You should also understand what the funding is going to be used for. Is the funding going to be used to build some very fancy new building, or is it going to be used to build some apartments for students, or is it going to be used for research purposes and so on, or amenities for students and so on? Then the location really matters. There is a more detailed slide on location, so I'll come back to location a little bit later. Then specific personalities matter. People who are stars in research in their field, people who are extremely well connected with government who can pull in funds, and people who are charismatic and outstanding teachers. You have to look for them. There are websites like ratemyprofessor.com and also numerous blogs surrounding each university which discuss this. Also, the best one of the best indicators of a professor's excellence is kind of how well updated their resume and website, their own web page, university web page are. Okay, people who are very active, doing good research, having a lot of students, they manage to update their pages well. People who are not so active, they're a little bit more tame when it comes to updating their biodata. Then in the US, in the last 20-30 years, there has been a big shift. Most of the universities were funded by research for defense, meaning that the United States was aspiring to be a superpower, and they wanted to make all kinds of weapons, all kinds of defense systems, ranging from electronics to missiles to better ammunition and guns and aircraft and so on. Now, this financed a lot of the research that happened in the last 50 years in the US. Now, not only the US, even in other countries like Germany or Soviet Union. Now, what has happened in the last 20 years, especially since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1980, since 1990 or so, what has happened is that industrial culture, that is, the industry interacts with a college or a university in various ways, absorbing their students into their workforce and financing projects and sending their own students to study and their own employees to study and so on. So there's a strong industry linkage is now driving universities and their growth everywhere. And universities are gradually shifting from being financed by government grants to being more and more funded by student tuition fees. This data is also something that uh, you have to keep in mind. You can understand it differently for from the pages of different universities. They usually have under the about page they disclose their finances of the previous years. Then historically, if you look at 100 years ago, most of the universities were very good at humanities. Could be philosophy or arts or law or something like that. Then gradually the focus shifted to science and maths, physics, chemistry, biology, and engineering, and so on. Then gradually the shift was more to technology and engineering, and in the mid 50s and till the mid 90s, there's a number of innovations that happened in finance and economics. The fields expanded very fast, and so now there is a lot of focus on finance and economics, especially when it comes to applying technology. Okay, so this is roughly the history. These are tendencies that will definitely impact you sooner or later, and so you should know these things. Abhinav has a question. Abhinav Sirigada. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Next slide. Okay, so in the last 30 years, one more thing has happened, especially since about 1985 or so. There's a very clearly established connection between high education and high economic potential. It used to be the case that high education did not necessarily give you a high income, but that changed with the internet and automobile and electronics revolutions. Especially if you are pursuing engineering, technology, maths, or science, the extent to which you are educated or specialized seems to greatly impact your earning potential. Okay, there's a difference between an undergrad and a graduate or a PhD in these areas is quite vast. Similarly, there has been a sea change in the scale and extent of graduate education. So a university that was training only 300 or 400 people for MS 20 years ago might now be training 2,000 people. So some 5 to 10 times more people are getting masters and getting absorbed in large companies throughout the world. And the nature of at the heart of it, there is a fundamental problem, which is that there are 6 billion, 7 billion people in the world, but only about 1 billion are actually well-to-do and comfortable. The remaining 6 billion are not in the same level of prosperity, and until a vast majority of the people are at the same level of prosperity, there is scope for people to have higher education and get absorbed into the economy, right? Okay, so the nature of competition and innovation is such that there's a need for higher knowledge and growth in new fields. So what I'm telling you is that the opportunity for higher education is going to grow in the subsequent years, even if there are ups and downs in the economy. The overall global trend is that an MS or a PhD will have higher value. So you guys are on the right track. Okay. All right. So somebody said I didn't sign up for this irrelevant stuff. I don't at all think this is irrelevant. It's very relevant for you. You just need to be patient and listen. Okay. So now let us come back to the geography part. Now I'm focusing on the US. Though, how many of you are interested in other countries, and which country? Can you just type it? I see Canada and I see Germany. I see Singapore, Netherlands, New Zealand to a smaller extent. All right. How many of you are interested in the US? Right. Type US. Okay, so from a quick unscientific survey of the questions that we are getting, the answers that we are getting, 80% of you are interested in the US and some of you are interested in both. Abhishek, why is it frustrating? Okay. Okay, so some of you, like for example, Abhishek is frustrated that none of his questions is answered. But I have to tell you, Abhishek, that um, it is not possible to answer all the questions immediately, but we will update our website with all the answers. Okay, that's a promise that we are making. Okay. All right, so now let us look at the map here. So we will predominantly focus on the US in this presentation, but it won't leave you completely knowledgeable on the US. You still have to do a lot more research. So others who are interested in other countries might be able to follow the same thought process and do research on the respective country. Now the US has six major regions. Okay, one is the Pacific coast, which is on this side. That again has a northeast and a California region. Then there is a part that's called the south, and then there's a part here that's called the Midwest, and then there's a part here that's called the Northeast, and then this is the Southeast. Now each of these is a geographically very different, different looking. Their economies are very different. You can say that they're almost like six different countries put together, and each of the each of these has a different nature, and the nature is also determined a lot by the key cities present in this region. Okay, for example, the six major urban hubs that determine the nature of this region are Washington DC, New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, and Houston. And a majority of the universities are a good number of the universities are located in and around these large cities. Okay, now you can say that the US, unlike any other country in the world, has six capitals, you can say. And the San Francisco is a technological capital. LA is the cultural and the media capital. New York is the financial capital. Washington is a political capital, and accordingly, the universities that are near these are shaped by that culture. Okay, yeah, Detroit. There's a question on Detroit. Detroit comes in the next slide. Okay, and okay, so then after that, apart from the six major hubs, there are a dozen minor hubs, which are again reasonably big size cities. Okay, that is Seattle, San Diego, Denver, Minneapolis, Detroit, Miami, and so on. And these are spread across the US. And you can say that 80% of the population, the US population lives in these areas. Okay, and apart from that, you have about 50 university towns and about 50 small cities. Okay. Now, as you do more research, you have to understand each university from the point of view of how close they are to these places. Now, a university town, somebody is asking that question. Nishant is asked, what's a university town? A university town is a place which is predominantly just one university, nothing else. For example, VIT Vellore would fall into that category now. Apart from VIT, there is hardly anything else there. West Lafayette, where Purdue is located, falls in that category, and so on. A small city would be something like a Lincoln, Nebraska, or a Culver City, California, and so on. Yeah, Tamu, for example, Vinuta Chopra says Tamu is a good Texas A&M University is located in College Station, which is a university town. There is almost nothing there except Texas A&M University. Okay. All right. So now there are lots of universities, but three of them are very special. Do you know which three these are? Okay, Venkat Ranga Reddy is asking about Valparaiso. Valparaiso is a very, very small place. It's almost like a village, and it has a very small university. It's just south of Chicago. Right, so there are these three very, very special places. MIT, Stanford, and UC Berkeley, University of California at Berkeley, when it comes to engineering and technology. Now, I'm saying this because, whatever be your field, whether it is VLSI or computer science or anything whatsoever, what you must do is to learn more about that field. You should go to the websites of these universities, the corresponding departments, and study what people are working on. Okay, now this is one of the best ways to learn about that field, because in most of the fields, the most advanced research work and the most advanced inventions are coming from these three places. So it's a very smart step to find out. Even today, when I want to find out something about an advanced area, I go to the websites of these three universities to start my research, because some of the most authentic and cutting edge thought process is actually embedded in the outputs of these universities. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. It's a great way to start your journey. Okay, then the other important thing that I want to leave you with, there are 4 major underlying trends, which are nano, info, bio, and eco. Okay, how many of you think you would be doing something to do with information in future? Information, computing, data, and so on. Okay, how many of you are into materials and nanotechnology and so on? Okay, and how many are into biological stuff? Cells and molecules and biochemical and so on. All right, and how many are into environment and eco-driven thought process, sustainability? Okay, Pradeep, good luck. We'll send you the slides. Nishant, I will answer your questions, but maybe in a typewritten form on the website. Please type your questions. Okay, the slides will be made available to everybody who attended today. The prize will be announced shortly. And there's one more prize after that. Okay, apart from these big tendencies, there are emerging areas which are more creative, like design and service science. As you get exposed to these things, there's a lot of initial confusion, but after that, after exposure, this goes away. Even if you're doing an MS, you must choose an area which has a strong future potential. Okay, so now let me ask you, how many of you here would get confused between, say, 3 colleges located in Chennai? IIT Madras, Madras Institute of Technology, and Madras University. How many of you would get confused at all? Yeah, no says, yeah, no, okay, no, nobody gets confused, right? Similarly, how many would get confused between these 3? University of Texas, Texas A&M, and Texas Technological University. Okay, you are confused. Okay, so now based on information that you learn here, I want you to have zero confusion about these three, just like you have zero confusion about the colleges in the previous slide. Okay? Alright. Now, okay, for this you need to understand the concept of a university system, and also the history and purpose of each category of universities. Okay, so now the way to do that is this. Now this something that the most important thought process. Okay, the best source of information about a university. What is the best source of information about a university? Someone says Google. Wrong answer. Nishant says, Nitant says its web page, university website. Exactly. Please say it with me. The most reliable the source of information about a university is its official website. Not Peterson's, not Wikipedia, not some random search, but the web pages of the university. Okay? The official website of the university. And this is something that people forget. Okay. And therefore they go to Wikipedia, they go to Google, they go to MSN they go to GRE Edge, they download old PDFs, but none of these offers you the correct information. Okay. Even people working in the university, an individual person is not the best source, but the website is the best source. Okay. So the reason is that each university employs a substantial website teams officially and keeps these web pages updated. Harshad, we are getting your questions, but I'm not able to answer it right away because there are a lot of questions and all of them will be answered. Okay. All right. So this is a very important thing that you need. Shravan says websites don't have all the information. That may be true. Then what you have to do is you have to email the university for additional information. Okay. So, Santosh says, wouldn't they be promoting their university in their website? Absolutely yes, they will be. Ayan asks, do universities reply promptly? There are different offices to answer different questions. On questions regarding applications and admission, they're normally prompt. If you ask them for funding, they're not very prompt. Sai Kiran asks, shortlisting universities before GRE or after GRE? It's good to have a tentative list before GRE and complete it after your GRE. Saurav says, how to find an opinion on the university? You have to do research on the internet, or there are some people who might have sent students to the university in the past, like good admission counselor. They might be able to help. Okay. Lot of questions. Okay. So now let me hand back over to Mani to announce the winner of the GRE Edge Millisecond moment.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Guys, we have got a result from our judging panel, and it was a really tough decision, but they have come to a conclusion. And I see almost all of you got the answer right, but the first person to answer it correctly is Surbhi Shah. Big round of applause for Surbhi Shah. Well done, Surbhi. You can, since you won the GRE Millisecond moment, we'll give you audio access. You can ask your question directly to Mr. Anand. If you have your microphone ready with you, we'll give you the audio access. So you can ask your question directly to Mr. Anand. Surbhi, do you have your microphones ready with you? Okay, guys, we seem to have. Okay, Surbhi doesn't have microphones. It's okay, Surbi. You can type in your questions, and Mr. Anand will answer your question. All right, guys. Back to the webinar, but we have another award coming up soon. I'll announce the details of it shortly.
Answer.
Okay, guys. The answer for the question is the first answer is 90.88% likelihood, and the second answer is 52.17% likelihood. I hope you all got it right. All right, back to the webinar, guys.
Okay, Soumya is asking how much longer? 15-20 minutes more, I think. Okay. Right, so we'll move on to the next topic, which is can you close this? Can you hear me, guys? Okay. So the next important topic, what did you learn from the millisecond question? The choices of Pratyusha and the choice of Ravi Teja. See, that was a problem. Yeah, it is a tough problem, but it is probability. Yeah, says Ishan. What did you learn from that? Well, the Pratyusha chose 6 universities, and Ravi Teja chose 8 universities. Still, Pratyusha's chances were higher. Why is that? Okay, so very often we find this that people who do a more balanced mix actually find it to be less. You know, they make it they make it to their dream university more. They kind of move forward more fast instead of losing a year or two by applying very high. Okay. So this is something that you have to really consider. I know guys from, say, top schools who applied very high and then regretted it. Balanced choice is a big one. Okay. So some of you are saying that your questions are not answered. We have more than 300 people attending this webinar, and it is just not possible to answer all the questions right away. Some of your questions are also pretty involved. Okay, it's not possible for me to know all the answers, but we will make sure as a team we will make the effort to systematically answer all your questions, and citing your name, we will put it on our website. Okay. All right. Srinath, we will be putting it on our website, and we'll also be mailing you that it is done. You can also check back on our website or on the Facebook page to see the link is posted. Okay. Kapil Agarwal says problem in your question. Right, that's a typo. It's or, not off. Okay. So now the kind of thinking that I told you, which Ravi Teja versus Pratyusha, is very, very important because of the huge number of universities. Okay. I would say my personal opinion is that there are 2,000 to 3,000 universities in the US. Many of them are very small, private and local. The top 150 to 200 are worth considering. Okay, now that's because most of you are students who are aspiring for good GRE scores, and Mohsin is asking which are these top 150 200 universities. It depends on a little bit on your field, but you can also go to say the business world rankings and look at this list. Okay. Okay. So the prominent rankings are Business US News and World Report, and then QS rankings and Peterson's. Okay. So now I've done some study and analysis of these university rankings, and I'm just presenting you a conclusion. Okay. Now look at what makes the top university top and the bottom university not so top. Okay, that's something that is very important to understand. If you take the top 10 universities, which includes UC, Berkeley, MIT, and Stanford, and a few others, the number of annual estimated number of seats for MS and PhD across all branches put together is about 15,000. That's about 19% of all the seats available in these universities. In the next 10, you may have about 9,700. In the next 30, you have about 19,700. So in the first 50 universities put together, you have about 45,000 to 46,000 seats. Then in the next 50, you have 23,000, which is about half. And in the 50 after that, you have about 11,700, which is half of even that. So you can see that as the university ranking decreases, the size is also decreasing. So what does it tell you? What does it tell you? The top 10 universities have more seats than the 100 to 150 ranked universities. What does it tell you? Okay, so it says that universities with large graduate education, MS and PhD departments, tend to be ranked higher and they are of higher quality. Okay, and it also tells you that if you look at the relative amount of funds, if the top 10 universities in tuition they collect about $1,000 million or $1 billion, and the next 30 universities, that is the universities from rank 20 to 50, they also collect roughly about the same amount, which means that the top universities are more expensive and the funding available per student is also higher. Okay, so that's one of these two, the size and the amount of funding are important distinguishers. It's the distinguishers. Abhijit Singh, yes, this is based on an analysis of US universities. We will be having an analysis of German universities a few days down the road. Okay. All right. So from this table, what is it that you conclude on the whole? I want to see if someone comes up with a really good answer. Rohit says the top 50 are good. Exactly. The top 50, aim for top 20. 20 to 50 are worth considering. Bigger the university, and more funds, the better. Right. Better schools are costly. Okay. So a lot of you seem to be drawing the conclusion that the top 50 is worth considering. Okay, so in my view, the top 100 is worth considering because when you look at the list from 50 to 100, there are quite a few very good universities. Okay. Okay, so now we'll take a break again for the GREH Academy Award.
Alright guys, time for the GREH Academy Award. Guys, Guys, how many of you are aware of the GREH Academy Award? No, size is no. Not aware. Okay, I'll tell you. Abhishek was eagerly waiting for the Academy Award. Here it is, Abhishek. Okay, guys, the instructions are on the screen. All you have to do is log on to our GREH Facebook page. You will see a question. The latest post on the GREH Facebook page. All you have to do is answer it, and the results will be announced in a short while. I've sent you a link. You can click on the link, log on to our GREH Facebook page, check out the latest post on the GREH Facebook page, and answer the question that follows.
You read it out.
Alright, I'll send you a link, guys. You can click on the link, log on to our Facebook page, and answer the latest post, the question in the latest post. I'll read it out for you. Arrange the letters to find the name of a reputed university. You'll see a group of letters. You have to rearrange them to find the name of a reputed university. So guys, I'll give you some time. I'll announce the winner at the end of the seminar. You can comment on the Facebook post. Okay? You can comment on the Facebook post. Meanwhile, let's get back to the seminar. If you got the answer, you can comment on the Facebook post. Let's get back to the seminar, guys.
Okay, so now what I have given you is a very broad overview, 2 or 3 important things, which is where is the gravity in the universities, what are the important types of trends and fields, and what is the approximate geography of location of the universities, and what determines ranking. Okay, now, and also a little bit of understanding about the probability of getting admissions or getting rejected. Okay, so now, is there anyone who is unable to hear me? Can you please type yes if you're able to hear me, and no if you're not able to hear me? Clear? Yes. Okay, many of you are clear. All right. So now I'm going to talk about something which, like your verbal reasoning or quantitative reasoning, there's something called something that I like to call admission reasoning abilities. That is the ability to think through and understand how the whole dynamics of admissions works. Because even if you write the GRE very well, that's only part of the work done. Okay, the real work lies in understanding the decision-making process inside universities. Universities, being what they are, they love things like innovation, diversity, grants, research, and your ability to pay tuition fees. Now, okay, so you have to, if you project yourself as someone, if you highlight those aspects of your achievements that highlight or that emphasize innovation, your ability to bring diversity to the university student body, your ability to fight against odds and achieve in spite of the lack of resources, your ability to do research, the ability to bring in grants, and so on. Okay, and of course your ability to pay your own tuition fees, which is why taking a loan is very important. Okay, unlike some 30-40 years ago when universities funded most students, now they collect money from most students. Okay, because the way of financing the university has undergone a big change. So you should always be willing to take a loan and study if you are serious about your studies. Okay, and universities' faculty research interests, especially in the top 100 schools, the faculty research interests and the financial requirements of the university drive admission prerogatives and preferences, which means that if the faculty is overwhelmingly interested in, say, uh, information technology or nanotechnology, then that would cause a focus on on recruiting students or admitting students who are interested in that area. Sharath Rao is asking how to determine faculty interests. It's very simple. You go to the website and see who is interested in what. Right, Sharath? Okay, so understanding this from for each university, where does the faculty interest lie, and what is the university's financial requirements? What is the university's financial requirements? These two things would greatly help you. Okay, there are many competent admission counselors who also keep on doing this kind of research, and who are very familiar with what's happening in different universities. So they're also, if you don't find the time, you find an advisor who has the time and who's able to sit with you and understand your interests very accurately. Okay, so and then universities have very diverse sources of income. Obviously, tuition fees makes up a bulk, but then each university publishes its entire source of funding: government allocations, chairs and endowments, research grants, industrial sponsorships, and many others. Sometimes they have patent income, they have land lease income, and so on. They provide other services to organizations around them, and so on. So there could be half a dozen or a dozen sources of income, and you have to understand how this really happens and what is the extent, the role, the tuition fees. What is the size? Is tuition fees 50% of it, or 25% of it, or 75% of it? That is something that you have to understand. Okay, Rohit asks, how can you trust the advisor? It's a big call. You have to have the sense to evaluate correctly. Okay, so now your admission reasoning ability, like Pratyusha and Ravi Teja, it depends a lot on how you are able to mentally simulate the likelihood of you getting admission and then guide your portfolio choice accordingly. Okay, are you able to understand what this means? Okay, Sharath says no. Most people. Okay. All right, some of you are able to, some 20% of you are able to say yes. Portfolio of choice meaning the set of universities that you decide to apply to. Okay, so for each person, based on your profile, there are some universities are really tough to get. You might have just a 10% chance of getting. In some universities, there might be a moderate chance of getting. Some of them would be a little bit more safe, and some of them are sure shot. Okay. Now, for each of you, there's a different, profile, and you have to decide, the set of universities, how you identify what is sure shot for you, what is safe for you. It's a very tricky thing. It depends on a lot of factors. We won't know the exact probability, Varun, but I'm just telling you that this is how it works. Okay. For example, if a university has 7 applications for every 1 seat, you can say that the probability is 1 in 7, provided all the candidates are of same credentials. Okay, right. A lot of times you'll need help in doing this, but you can also do a lot of research by yourself and understand. You can look at what happened to past students, what kind of students have gotten admitted already. You can go search their LinkedIn profiles or their university home pages. Okay, so now again let us look at how you spend time as spend money as time goes along. In the beginning, when you're exploring, you might spend like 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees for a GRE book. Then you spend about 10,000 maybe for GRE training. Then you spend another 10,000 rupees for to write the exam, ETS GRE. Then you spend another 20,000 rupees for admission counseling, and then you spend another 50,000 rupees for sending applications. and then by the time you come to your visa, you have to spend a whole 100K, and then after that you start spending, once you get your admission, you start spending about uh, uh, 20 lakhs per year, or no, probably now a little bit more. Okay, on a per year basis for a couple of years, and then you graduate. So totally you would have spent close to uh, 35 40 lakhs in this whole period of time. Okay, so therefore most of you are in the very early stage, that is, you are somewhere between before writing a GRE or just here. So you have just spent about 1% 2% of this total amount. So this is a time when you have to pay a lot of attention to how you make your decisions, because the correct or incorrect decision that you make right now can have huge impact both on the kind of time that you spend and the money that you spend. Okay, so the most important thing here is the risk reward question, which was the very first question that we asked you. Okay, some of you said top only, some of you said safe only. Okay, and then a whole lot of you had a mix of opinions. That's very deeply dependent on your personality. If you get that wrong, you're likely to be uh, uh, unhappy. So now Srinath and Chinna and others are saying uh, top is best, but I would say that top is best for those who think that top is best. Safe is best for those who think that safe is best. It is up to you. Okay. All right. So some universities have an excess of applications related to the number of seats, which are all the top schools. Some universities which are more at the bottom of the 150 they don't get enough applications, so they operate through a network of agents and commissioned representatives. Okay. So now what is top for you may not be top for someone else. Okay, so that depends on a lot of factors. So I suggest you open a table and you create your own profile, which is your CGPA, which college, what is the CGPA of the topper of your college, which department or field, what kind of projects you have done, what kind of papers you have published, and what kind of research experience you have. Do you have any work experience or internships? What's your GRE score? What's your TOEFL or IELTS score? What kind of letters of recommendation do you have? What does your statement of purpose actually say? And any other academic achievements. A list of all this is what is your profile. And how many of you have actually worked on building your profile already? How many of you have built a profile? Sharat says no, Sharo says yes. There's an equal mix of yes and no, and then there are some partly started and so on. I suggest it's 8:30 p.m. now. I suggest that right at the end of this webinar, you open up and start building your profile. Okay, if you haven't already started doing so, because that's a way in which you will know what you can do next to improve it. Okay, Pramod is asking how would they know the college topper CGPA? It is best for you to disclose. It's best for you to also report along with your scores, along with your profile. Information is not that hard to find, Pramod. They can make a phone call to your college principal and find out. Or they can ask your seniors who are in that college. Yeah, the Sweta is asking why do they need the topper CGPA? That tells them how you are doing relative to the how difficult is your college exams, or what is the what is the normalization. Okay, so let us now go to the next slide. How are you guys doing on the question? What is it? The anagram.
Academy Award.
Yeah, the Academy Award.
So some of the students have already answered.
I see.
And the judging panel is evaluating the answers.
Any right answers yet?
We are yet to evaluate.
Okay. Right. Okay. So um, so what happens is your profile gets mapped to your chances. Okay, that's the long and short of the whole story. Okay, your profile consists of all these factors, and then based on which set of universities you apply to, your chances are drastically different. Now, what is top, what is middle, and what is safe for each person depends on that person, and depends on the details of the profile of that person. Okay, so that classification is very highly personalized and specific. Ankit, what do you mean by please tell this once more? The classification for each person is different. What is top school for, what is difficult and ambitious for one person to get might be easy for another person because of differences. For example, one college might value GRE score very highly, and one college might value uh, research experience very highly. Okay, but in general, you can say that CGPA, research experience, and GRE score are the most important qualities here. Okay, so what you do is, Anuradha, can you exactly tell me what you didn't understand? Okay, research experience means your prior participation in projects of significance, working under a professor who is doing research, publishing a paper, that kind of thing. Work experience is not equally important; it is less important unless it's a top-notch research-oriented workplace like Amazon or Google or DRDO or somewhere. Okay, Sai Karthik asks, what is CGPA? CGPA is marks reduced to a scale of 1 to 4, 0 to 4 or 0 to 10. Okay, so let us now, this is a summary. That is, in the whole process of applying, you have to identify what are the top schools for you, what are the middle schools for you, and what are the safe schools for you. And then based on your level of comfort with the chance of rejection or the likelihood of going to a below par school, you have to make a choice on how many universities you apply to. Of course, your budget limitations also come into play, and then after that, you would have selected the right university for yourself. So this is how you go about picking the right university for MS and PhD. Is that clear? Somewhat clear, says somebody. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, what I feel is I've tried to cover this in an hour and a half, but to come to any level of clarity about your own situation, it will take you 50 to 100 hours of thinking and research. Okay. Right. So I've just told you how to go about it. Deepak asked, when are you going to do the same for Germany? We are going to have a guest webinar on Germany. It's open to our enrolled students. I'm not sure if it's open to if there are enough, if there are fewer registrations than we expect, then we'll also make it open to students who are not enrolled. Okay. All right. So shall we go to the next step?
All right, guys. Guys, how many of you are waiting to know who is the winner of today's GREH Academy Award? Guys, how many of you have already responded? Have all of you answered? Okay. Nipun, Nishank, Shubham have answered. Okay, guys, the results are out. The results are out. The judging panel is ready with the decision, and they tell me that it was a really tough decision. They are already pulling each other's hair to make the decision. Anyway, guys, today's GREH Academy Award winner is Nitish Goenka. Give a big round of applause for Nitish Goenka. Well done, Nitish. That was really fantastic, and that was really quick. I didn't actually expect that you'll get this right, but very well done. And for the rest of you, rest of all, well done for participating, and big round of applause for all of you too. All right, now guys, since there have been many questions we weren't able to answer, we will have a small question answer session right now. You can type in your questions, and Mr. Anand will answer your questions.
Okay, would someone like to have audio control so that you can ask your question? Okay, so we'll give you audio control. Azhar Nawaz. Hello, Azhar. Yeah, hello.
Hi, my name is Azhar.
Yeah, hi Azhar. Please tell me your question.
Yeah. I wanted to know how do we know about the requirements of a particular university if we are trying to research about the universities?
Okay. Now, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Which you know?
I'm doing my engineering in electronics and communication.
Okay. Which
and
college?
I'm in Chennai. I'm doing in St. Joseph's College of Engineering.
Okay. And you wanted to know you've written your GRE?
No, I'm writing it next month, 4th of September.
4th of September. Okay. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Okay. Now your question is.
Okay, basically I am into electronics and communication, but I want to do a course called Masters in Engineering Management, which is called MEM in US.
Okay.
I was looking for some universities which provide this course, and I was very confused about which area of US, which part of US do I search for university, because a few people told me the states and cities which have good production background and management background, the universities should be selected in that location. So I am unaware of those states and cities. So I am trying to research a little bit of them on them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I want to know how do I find information about universities? Do I have to go to their website, or do I have to contact their officials, their staff, or how? I don't know.
Yeah. In the beginning, you go to their websites. Okay. And then once you have, there might be about 15-20 universities offering this program. Okay, if I remember correctly, I can think of only a couple of universities, Cornell and SMU, I think, Southern Methodist. I can immediately think of, and then there would definitely be a few others. After you kind of make a more detailed list, then you start identifying the key personalities, the professors and so on, and then start writing to them. Tell them why you're interested. Don't write a generic one saying, I'm so and so with 65% and this kind of GRE score. Will you take me as a student? Don't write that. Write to them about why you're interested in what they are doing, and why you are.
You're talking about SOP, or you're talking generally about communicating with the professors?
I'm talking about what happens way before your SOP. Communicating with the university department, making the professors interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you can mention those conversations. If they go well, you can mention them in your SOP, saying that so and so professor, actually we had some discussions on this, and and so on. So this, but why is it that you want to do engineering management?
Because I don't want to go into my core and technical background. I just want to go into management, and I don't think freshers are allowed to do MBA these days. Personally, it won't benefit us also. So I thought I can do a master's in a business course and then work for a couple of years and then do an MBA. So it'll make I'll be more matured then to do MBA.
I see. Okay. So if doing an MBA eventually is your main goal,
Yeah.
you know, in many of the U.S. universities, the nature of their core programs is not as boring or insipid as some of the say the local colleges here have. Okay, you might actually it might rekindle or get you actively interested. So don't leave your core. You might you might have some people avoid core because they got bored of it, or they had a bad experience, or they ended up getting weak scores or weak grades. Okay, I don't know which bucket you fall in, but that's no reason to avoid your core subject. You can, if you can activate your interest, retain your interest, then you can then do you can work as you planned after your MS, and then after that you can do your MBA.
Okay, so you're saying masters in my core, EC core, and then work and then do my MBA. Will that help?
Yeah. That's equally good an option, and it gives you far more options, far more opportunities. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Okay, stay in touch, and best wishes for your GRE.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay. So one more question. Who wants to ask? Email ID Kiran Karthik. You can write all your questions to info@greh.com. Okay. Dhara Thakkar. Dhara Thakkar is the next person. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Dhara Thakkar.
Yes.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask. I have done my engineering telecommunications, and I want to pursue my master's in computer science.
Okay.
What are the chances?
What do you do right now? You have finished your degree. Are you working somewhere?
Yes, I'm waiting for the day of joining and preparing for GRE.
Okay. And
According to
yeah, please speak a bit louder. Hello. Okay, I think we lost her. Dara, you can type your question. Okay, who's next? You have to be the first to type me. Rohit V. Okay. Rohit V is next. You'll get control in a short while. Hello. Hello, Rohit. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hi, Rohit.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening. I just wanted to know more about the MEM course because as the previous person who was talking about it was interested.
Okay.
My goal was to start a company after going into my core.
I see. Okay. What's your core area?
Civil infrastructure, basically.
Civil infrastructure. Okay.
Yeah, and I was planning to do my master in some sustainable building technology or green buildings, basically.
I see. Okay. And why are you interested? Why are you interested in MEM?
One second, could you give me?
Hello. Okay, so meanwhile, one more person can get ready.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please tell me,
Uh,
Rohit. Why are you interested in
Yeah.
MEM?
So I'm interested in MEM because later on I would require management skills to open another company there,
I see. Okay, so
using the expertise of the whatever I learned in the core.
I see. Okay, I'm not so sure if course would help you learn those skills necessarily. What I'll do is regarding MEM, since two people, two
Because
concepts.
sustainable building technology is
Mhm.
pretty new in India, and it has a lot of scope in US according to what I've seen.
Okay, fine. I'll I don't know the complete answer to your question immediately, but since two of you have asked, we'll make some more research and publish it on our website. Okay.
And also, I would
Uh,
like to know about and I mean, what are the colleges which actually offer MEM? Because it's really hard to. There's no college which mentions MEM in their website.
Yeah, I know only of two, which I mentioned earlier, Cornell and SMU, but there would be others also. MEM programs are typically very small, and they are located in they are in universities which are very closely tied to uh, a big production culture. Like for example, the SMU program
Okay.
was largely sponsored by Texas Instruments, which is located very close. Okay, and Cornell had a lot of links to the old New York manufacturing units. So there's a certain history to it. I need to do some more research and get back to you on that. Okay.
Yeah. And one last question, actually.
Okay.
How do we know the the advantages of how the industry is advantages to that area of the university? Like, how do we know that this area is good in civil industry, like
Have you
the
heard of something
job
called
opportunities and all those things?
right? Have you heard of something called the internet?
Yeah, but I can't understand from where we can get the actual the right
No,
answer.
there is when you research on the net, you can pretty much find out everything. Only that it takes time. Okay.
Are there any specific websites or something which inform you about the kind of job opportunities in different areas?
Um, there are lots. There are lots of websites. I'll publish some of them. Okay. The US
Thank you.
the US consulate USIEF websites have comprehensive information on different regions of the US. Okay. All right, Rohit. Thank
Thank
you. The next person is Shravanti. Next person is Shravanti. So Shravanti, grab a mic and be ready. There are two Shravantis. Okay, Shravanti Setipalli. Shravanti Setipalli. Hello?
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Yeah,
hi, this is Sharanti here.
yeah, hi.
Yeah, I'm actually a postgraduate in child development.
Child
I've
development,
done
okay.
my master. Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, how do you identify those universities which are, engineering and, engineering is the most common profession where everyone is looking for.
Okay.
Mine is a bit unusual where I'm not able to find out which would be good for me or whether I need to do again my MS or I can go for a PhD. I'm just confused in that.
Okay, so in most universities, if I'm right, the child development would come under psychology.
Yeah, early childhood education and child development.
Right, yeah. So, see, most of the US universities have very mature, well-established psychology departments. Okay, and the university websites would have exhaustive information. Child development is a very large area, very big area.
Yeah.
It's not very common in our country, but in the US it's a very big area, almost as big as engineering. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
With psychology, the one additional complication is that you need to write GRE in psychology, subject GRE.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a prerequisite for most of the, apart from the general GRE. Have you written your general GRE yet?
No, I have not yet. I'm
Okay,
about to.
you're
Yeah,
about to,
I'm just
okay.
under still. Yeah, I'm still in taking coaching and all. Yeah.
I see. How are you preparing?
Yeah, it's going on. I mean, I'm just very 10 days only from past 10 days, and I've started going to these classes and all.
Okay, which
So I'm
classes?
completely into GRE and also TOEFL for both. I'm
Okay,
doing the
this is in
coaching.
which city and which class?
I'm from Hyderabad, so
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So,
Do you want me to tell me from which coaching center that I'm taking this?
that's up to you. That's up to you. This information.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm undergoing from Manhattan Review,
Okay.
so so
Okay, so closer to your a lot of people, what they do is once they attend, they initially they start with studying a book or attending a class, and
yeah.
then when for intense practice with for feedback and to boost their scores, they use GREH. Okay, GREH provides you that kind of focused score boosting training, and that's
Okay.
something that you can try because and then after you finish your general GRE, you can focus on your subject GRE. So if you go to the psychology departments of most universities, you'll find that say a good fraction, at least 5 to 10% of the faculty would be working on child psychology and child development. Okay, and
Okay.
most of them, almost all of them will have subject GRE and general GRE as requirements for it.
Okay.
Okay. All
I just wanted to understand, like, I mean, which kind of universities would be good? Like, as you said, it's top 20 or top 30 or top 50. So,
what is it that
for
you
the child development.
what is it that you want?
Yeah. I wanted to do PhD, that is for sure. But many of them are saying like they don't accept the MSc from here and all. So
Okay.
I'm not still getting that. What is the difference? Like if I'm doing my MSc here, I've completed it.
No, no,
What's
that's
the
not.
need of doing?
I know several people, several of our own students, who have finished MSc here and gone for a MS followed by PhD in
Okay,
psychology. And the I have, if it's if you've gone to a decent college here, decent university here, I don't think there's any problem.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Who's next? Okay, Sandeep Bachu is next. Sandeep, please get ready. Sandeep Bachu, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. This is B. Sandeep.
Yeah, hi Sandeep.
So, on what basis is this scholarship provided? Like on the basis of GRE score or CPGA?
CGPA, yeah, both. Both.
Okay.
GRE is a very broad general measure of how good you are with respect to the entire world population. So
Okay.
if you have a high GRE score, you're definitely good with respect to anybody in the world. CGPA
Okay.
is
What
much
about
more.
the undergraduation percentage?
It might, some of them might look at that also.
Okay.
Okay, of
And
course,
what about the extracurricular activities?
rarely.
Okay.
Okay, for
And
scholarship.
what should be our GRE score to get into these universities and to get scholarship actually?
That I would say that anything above a 320 makes you competitive.
Okay.
Okay, only the top 10% gets 320 in the whole world. Okay, and the top
Okay.
1% gets about 330 plus. So scoring in that range would put you in a very competitive bracket. Okay,
Okay.
and you
Thank you very
might.
much, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. Any more questions? Ashwin Raman has a question. There are about 100. Hello, Ashwin.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Ashwin.
Yeah, hi. So yeah, my question is something related to the question which I just prior asked also.
Okay.
I'm a student from EC background, but I'm currently working as a software engineer with 2 years of work experience. So I'm
Okay.
really confused of to choose what course I should go in. I know it's a very lame question, but like I'm already short of time. Like I have to give my GRE in another week of time. But I'm
Okay.
still not able to decide on which course should I go for. It's like still dicey whether I will be going in for the core subject or else I should go with my software engineering experience
Okay.
and go for that.
Okay. Which college did you go to?
Yeah, I went to Bharati Vidyapit.
Bharati Vidyapit. And then which kind of which company are you working with now?
I'm working with a company known as PTC. It's an
Which
Atlanta-based company.
so software company.
Yeah, it's a software company.
Are you based in Atlanta or here? In
No,
India?
I'm based in India only. Yeah.
Okay. Now let us agree that until your GRE is over, focus on your GRE. Don't worry about this question.
Okay.
After that, you have plenty of time to worry about this. Okay. And there are lots and lots and lots of people who are in the same bracket as you are, same situation. Okay. So in fact, this year that group is very big. Unfortunately, in the last few years, the easiest and the most common type of job opportunity in India is that of a software engineer.
Yeah.
Right? There are very few more specialized jobs. Okay, so many people are in the same bracket and same situation as you are. But suppose you tell them in your SOP, you state that yes, I did software for 2 years. That gives me the maturity and organizational exposure and all that. But I know that my heart is still in my core area, electronics, and that's what I want to do. I want to qualify myself. You will definitely, that will count for you. Okay.
So if I give a preference of going in for EC, so they will be more preferred in accepting me in EC, or if I go in for computer science, that will be a much better option.
Okay. So
Like what?
do you have a strong CGPA in your undergrad?
Yeah, I'm having a decent CGPA in my undergraduation.
Okay, then I don't think there should be a problem. You should go according to what your interest really is. What kind of engineer do you see yourself being after you finish your MS? That's what you should do.
Okay, I was just concerned like this 2 years of work should not backfire on me. Like why have we worked as a software engineer and now you're again going back to doing electronics? So that's what.
No. I don't think that's. There are a lot of people from CTS, TCS, and other places who have been our students, who have written their GRE and then gone on to do things like VLSI or communication systems. Perfectly well.
Okay.
Okay.
I will be researching about it later on. But like as you know about while we are writing the GRE, at the end they are asking for a score select in which you have to send your score to the 4 universities. So what is the prior information that I should have on that? Like I can select the universities that I can definitely make a list of that because they might be quite commensurate between the EC and computer science.
Yeah, but when you report the score, it will go to all the departments.
Okay, we don't have to select the department that time, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You'll go to the graduate. You'll go to the central graduate school of that university.
Okay.
Okay, and all the departments. If you apply to multiple.
I've already made a list, but yeah, I've already made a list, so almost the rankings and in EC and computer and finding it to be almost equivalent.
Okay.
So I don't have an issue in selecting the 4 universities, but so that I can decide it later on.
Right.
I have to also.
Yeah, in many universities, electrical engineering and computer science are one and the same department called EECS.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they don't like once you selected it for EECS that I got, then I have to again then it is again going to narrow down to which exact computer science or electronics you are going to select for, and ultimately it's again going to be filtered.
It depends. See, the different universities offer different types of flexibilities. Okay, and so I can't answer that question in a broad way for all universities. each university, they may not even strictly view it as a difference between electrical and computers. Okay, after a while, to make any electrical machine, you do a lot of programming, and vice versa. Okay, so the two fields converge in some sense. So you don't need to worry about such fine distinctions. Okay, this very strict partition between electrical and computers, which is there for undergraduate courses in India, is somewhat artificial. Okay, so that people understand that. Okay, all right.
Also, regarding this electrical and electrical and computer engineering, I was just searching. I'm basically relying on the US news for checking the rankings. So on that, they are only having ranking for electrical and electronics and computers. They don't have it for electrical and computer engineering. So that was the main issue I was facing of filtering out the.
See, I'll give you this example. In some universities, electrical and computer science might be one integrated department, having say 120 faculty members. In some other place, electrical engineering and computer science may be different departments, having maybe 50-50 faculty members each. Okay, so in which case, the ranking would consider EECS under as an electrical department when they do the electrical ranking, and as a computer science department when they do a computer science ranking. Okay, so I mean, don't split hairs over these rankings, because it doesn't, they are broad indicators. Okay, all right. Okay, we'll close, and I'll give control back to Mani then.
All right, guys. So guys, how was today's online seminar? How was today's online seminar, guys? Good, very good. Pretty good, awesome, fine. Fantastic, fantabulous. That's good to hear, guys. That's good to hear. Guys, it was very nice having you with us today. We had more than 400 students attending today's online seminar, so it was very difficult to answer all of your questions. But don't worry, don't get disheartened. We'll take all of your questions, answer those, update it in our website, and inform you through email. All right? If you still have any doubts, or any queries or any inquiries to make, you can call us on 988-44-53276, or you can email us at info@greh.com. Right? Guys, Mr. Anand was very happy to talk to you today, and it was a really informative seminar. I really enjoyed today's online seminar, and I hope it was really informative for you guys. And as I said, your questions will be answered, and we'll update you through email. Meanwhile, you can keep an eye on our Facebook page, GRH Facebook page, for latest updates. You can also keep an eye on our GRH mails, and keep browsing through our website for more GRE information, guys. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good day, and all the best for your GRE. Have a good night.